So here we are. I'm going to just hit this little arrow down here and voila, a beautiful timeline. Let's take a look at our next candidate. This time, we'll examine another advanced persistent threat called Red October. I'm going to just click on this and here we go. Red October was another advanced persistent threat that was first discovered back in 2007. Red October had a wide range of targets, but it mainly targeted military, government, and scientific institutions in most parts of the world, including most of Asia, Europe, North America, and some parts of Australia. The attackers behind Red October were very focused, and on more than one occasion, they used credentials that they harvested from prior attacks to further their goals. Throughout their 5-year run, they made use of multiple zero-day vulnerabilities in Microsoft Word, Excel, and later in the Java plugin in browsers. The infected systems would log keystrokes, capture screenshots, collect program lists, extract account information, perform internal network scans to search for additional vulnerable systems, among much more. And according to researchers at Kaspersky Labs, I quote, "There's a high degree of interaction between the attackers and the victim. The operation is driven by the kind of configuration the victim has, what types of documents they use, installed software, native language, and so on. Compared to Flame and Gauss, which are highly automated cyber espionage campaigns, Red October is a lot more personal and is more finely tuned for its victims." In the case of Red October, there once again was no trace of the sponsors. We don't know if it was a nation state or the attackers were looking to obtain and just sell the information to the highest bidder. The only other hint of its origin comes from language artifacts in its code, which seem to suggest both Chinese and Russian actors. Now, as we did in the last case, let's go over each of the characteristics of this attack. Purposeful? Definitely. The attackers behind Red October knew exactly what they wanted: access to classified data and control over systems over large parts of the world. Next, risk tolerance. As we've already seen, they stayed hidden for the better part of 5 years, and during that period, they managed to use harvested credentials that they had captured in order to increase their hold over the networks. Definitely a check. Next up, focused. We don't really know what the attackers behind Red October were after. Their attacks were targeted and were highly customized for each victim, thus ensuring the highest level of success. I'm going to give this one a very great check. We'll look at this again later. Next up, resourcefulness. This isn't even a contest. Red October utilized more than one channel to spread. They backdoored computers and phones, and on more than one occasion, used phones to help transfer malware between devices. Additionally, they made use of harvested passwords in order to install their malware onto other systems in the network. Next up, we have to look at how sophisticated Red October was. Did I even go on? This slide should give you a pretty good idea about their success. Rounding up our list, we have to look at locations and traffic volumes. Red October had victims in more than 20 different countries and command and control servers in much more. This should help you understand just how large this operation was prior to its discovery. However, as is obvious, they didn't really have large traffic volumes, if you consider this to be traffic that originates from the attacker and terminates at the user. And at last, funding. Since we don't really know who is behind Red October, this is slightly difficult to say for sure. However, it being a cyber espionage campaign that lasted for almost half a decade means that it must have had a constant source of income. Depending on the aim of the attack, Red October could have either been a nation state or could have been several attackers who sold the information that they obtained for a handsome price in the underground market. Either way, this still led to a very well-funded operation, so we'll tick this off too. So in summary, Red October satisfies 7 out of the 8 criteria that we determined to be necessary to call a threat an advanced persistent threat. This was a big one.